So yesterday we did two sections, and today inshallah we'll try to do. What was the name of our file? It was file, open folder, and PC. Okay, so index.html and okay, go live would be here in just a minute. Okay, go live. Okay, have you guys completed this card section? Because what I've seen in your assignments, it was until this point. So you have to complete this one as well, okay, with the next assignment.
Yes, that would be completed.
Okay. Okay, this was the site, and we have done. Is the site changed? I mean, yesterday it was something else. Yeah, yesterday was different.
Yeah, it's different.
Wait, let me check the original site. I guess this one was yeah. So we have opened the site with that specific location. So we were looking for the main site, which was this one. Okay. Okay. So let's do this one. So what do you see here? This okay. This section I'm talking about. So what do you see? Now this one is quite interesting because if you were to see, we have this image and we have something. We have the cards inside this image, but these cards are getting outside of the parent. So it's designed quite uniquely. So what do you think? How can we design this? What should we do? How many days do we have? Let me open the pane as well. So this is the section. Let me zoom out a bit so we can
One.
see all of it. Let me zoom out a bit more. Yeah, this is it. So what do you think? How many sections do we have? How many divs?
It's one.
Very good. One. We have the one main div. Okay, great. So inside this div, so what do you think? Is this the image or is this a background image? The one you're seeing behind these cards.
The background
Very
image?
good. It's background image, okay? Because image would be like it would be apparent, okay? If there's an image, it would be apparent. So how many divs do we have inside this single div? How many divs do we have inside this single div?
Two.
Two as what? Like what? This one would be one, okay? This one would be the second div. And what about this?
Th- yeah, three,
Three.
five. Yeah, there's
Three.
five.
First we have three, okay?
Oh,
So one, two, and then all of these, since they are side by side, so obviously they are inside a single div. So we have three divs. So inside these, the last div, inside the last div, we have how many divs?
three.
Very good, three. So the first card, the second card, and the third card. Okay, great. So inside the first card, we have how many divs? What do you think? How many divs do we have inside the first? Sorry, not the divs. Inside the single card. Yeah, how many divs do we have inside the single card? Let me zoom back in.
Five.
Five. Wait, let me see. One, two, the image. Three, four, five. Exactly. Good. So we have the image, and we have this location, and then we have this heading. Wait, now I have less space. Then we have this paragraph, and then we have this button. Yeah. So we can just make this one card and we can copy it down two times. Okay, so any problem with the layout? Is it okay?
No.
Okay, great. So let me collapse this section. So what should we name it? The main section. What should we name it? That's your section. And what should be the name? Places maybe. Let's see, because we have a lot of places here. So let's say places. Okay. So inside the places we have this. What should we? Which element should this be? Which heading should this be? Which heading should this be?
H2.
H2. Yeah, good. Can we use H1 or can we use the H1?
You could.
We can, but what will be the problem?
It'll be too big.
No, there will be another problem.
H for H1.
Yeah, yeah. There's going to be a problem if we use H1, and that's a big problem we would have. Like it's not
Did
this
we
time.
already use it?
Sorry.
We used. Yeah, we did. We use H1.
No, no. The question was we can use H1, but we are not going to use H1 because it would pose a really big problem. And what would that problem be? It's a big problem, and it's a really important problem. As a developer, you should know the problem, and we
Oh,
have.
the font
Does it
style.
No.
No.
does it affect the whole page?
Yeah, it affects the whole page. How come it affects the whole page?
You to keep it organized.
No, no, no. There's another thing. Starts with an S. It would affect your SEO. Okay,
Oh yeah,
we have discussed that there should only be one H1 in all in one page. Okay, we have used H1 already, so you should
yeah,
not use the H1 again because it's going to affect your SEO. So that was the problem.
yeah.
Okay, the size isn't the problem, the style isn't the problem, is the SEO. Okay, so what would this be? This. Which element should this be?
H3.
Is this a heading or a paragraph? I think it should
Oh, it's a
be, yeah,
paragraph.
it should be a paragraph. So paragraph and paste it. Yeah, it's good. So we have this. Okay, so let's style this one first and we can move on to other stuff later on. So the main div is the places. So I'm gonna target dot places. Places, yeah. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put everything in the center. So how do I do it?
Margin. Margin auto.
Margin is for the elements. I want to do this with. So what should I do?
X.
Yeah, go text what? Text and then
Text align.
yeah, text line center. So now we have this in the center. So also let's make this to have some space from top and bottom. What should we do? What should we do in order to make it, have some space from top and bottom? Should we use padding or margin?
Margin. Margin.
Margin's good because we want the space from the outside, not the inside at the moment. So I'm gonna say margin and I'll say 2 rem and 0. What would this mean? Very good. 0 rem from left and right. So yeah, we do have the space from the top and bottom. Okay, great. So now we want to make this bigger and it should be exactly the same. What was the size of this? I guess it was. What was the size of this one? Yeah, it was 3 rem. So I'll copy all of the styling. I'll say places and it is exactly the same. Similarly, I'm going to do this for P as well because I want the same styling as this had to this P. I want to apply the same styling. So I'll just go inside the, what was this one? It was, yeah, this one. So I'm going to copy the styling, just the styling. I'll go a little down and I'll places P and then paste it. Yeah, so now we have it perfectly aligned. Okay, so let's move on to the main section. So this one. So what should we do? We have already created the layout. So this was the layout. So now we are going to Give me a sensible name that is going to, refer to these cards specifically. Wait. I guess it's a mic because I'm sitting. Okay, wait. Is it okay now? Wait. Let me get the mic closer to me. Okay. So I was asking about what should we name this main div, the one holding all of these cards? Sorry. Yeah. We can do that, or we can say let's say series and then cards. Series dash cards. Okay. So this is the main div. So what should we name the single one? The single card. C card, yeah, that's a good name. So let's say C and then card. So referring to city card, that's good. Okay, so now the first thing is the image. So I'll say image. We can get back to this thing later on because it's basically stacked on top of the image, so it'll take some time. Whereas all of these elements, they are basically aligned on top of each other, so that doesn't matter. It'll be easy. So I'll copy this, copy image address. No, not this one. Also right click, copy image address and paste it. And what should be the width of this image? Very good, 100%. Very good, 100% because Flex is going to arrange it itself. 100%. So yeah, we have this image. So how many? Wait. After the image, we have this. What should be this one? Which element should be this be? H3, yeah. H3 seems good. So Hotel 1 Lalazar Multan. Okay. Hotel 1 because I cannot copy it. Lalazar is a location, and then it was saying Multan. Yeah, good. Okay, so what is this?
Paragraph.
Paragraph, yeah. So we have discussed about paragraph something like I cannot copy it, but I want the paragraph to be to have some lines like.
Lorem.
So what have we discussed about? Having some
You
random
can
text.
use lorem.
Lorem, yeah, lorem, and let's see how much text would this be? Take a guess, maybe 30. I guess no, 30 is gonna be too much. Yeah, 20. 20 seems good. Oh, not 30, 20. Yeah, it's good. 20. And lastly, we have this button. So inside the C card, we're gonna put button, and let's name it discover. Discover, and it's going to say discover more. Discover more. Yeah. So the layout is ready. So what happens with this paragraph? Like, why does this paragraph has? Why is the size too big? Why do you think this paragraph has a bigger size? Although we haven't styled it yet, or have we? We have already styled it. We said that get the paragraphs that are inside the places. So basically, it's getting all of the paragraphs as inside the places, including this one. We can arrange it later. Okay. So how much card do we need? How many cards do we need?
3.
3. So I'm gonna copy it down. What's the shortcut for copying the line down?
Control
Shift
all down.
and then
Shift alt arrow
very
down.
good. Shift alt arrow down. So copy it down one more time. And yeah, now we have 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now I want them side by side.
Display
Display
flag
Yeah,
flex.
good. Display flex on what?
on the
Places.
cards.
Oh,
Yeah,
city
city cards. So
cards.
let's say city cards, not cities cards. That doesn't make any sense. So let's say city cards, and then we're gonna say display to be flex, and yeah, just side by side. Okay. So the next thing I wanna do is I wanna align the width of these cards, just like the cards we have above. So what was the width of this whole div? Do you guys remember? I guess it was, yeah, it was 70%. No, it wasn't 70%. It was
90.
No, it wasn't 90. I guess what was this section called? I guess it was experience. No, it wasn't experience. It was offers. Yeah, it was offers. So it was 70%. So we're gonna say the city cards should have a width of 70% so that they may align with the above cards. Okay, this is a really important part in the designing, that everything should be aligned. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to get them in the center. What should we do?
Margin.
Very good. Margin to be auto. Good. But we want them the space from the above and bottom, so I'm going to say 2 rem and auto. Perfect. Now I want to have some space between them. The same space I had above.
Gap.
Yeah, gap. Gap on what? The same thing. I'm going to say gap and then 2 rem. Perfect. Now I want to make the paragraph smaller. How do I target this paragraph specifically? How do you think we can target this paragraph specifically? Like we have said, I want to here we have said that get me the paragraphs that are inside the places div. So we had two paragraphs inside the places div. We had this our hotels and resorts, and we had this paragraph, that is this one, inside the places. So basically it's targeting both of them, but I want to target this specific paragraph specifically. What should I do? What should I write in order to target this paragraph?
What you do, the hotel one can target a paragraph in the C card.
Very good. Exactly. Very good. We have to target the paragraphs that is inside the C card. Exactly. Good. So we'll say dot C card and then the P. So it's going to target the paragraph that's inside the C card. And we'll say the font size is going to be, I guess we did 0.8 time for the above card, so we're going to do it the same with this one. Yeah, perfect. Similarly, let's target this button as well. So this button is kind of like similar to this button. It's almost like similar to this button. Yeah, there's just a colors difference between them. So what we can do is, we shouldn't do it specifically, we can just, yeah, here. So we can say comma and then C card and then button. So it's going to target the C card button as well and apply the same styling. So perfect, we have this, but there is a single problem here. What's that problem?
You need to make it hover.
Yeah, however, plus we had something else. Look, this is the button in the second card and this is the button in the first card. What's the difference?
The
color.
color is
Yeah.
opposite the
Good.
background color.
Exactly. So we have to target it specifically then. So we're gonna say C card and then button. The background is going to be this one. Yeah, perfect. And the color is going to be white.
White.
Good. Now the hover. So we're gonna say C card and then we'll say when I hover upon it, I want the background to be white and I want the color to be this color. Now what happened here?
Not working.
What I've said here is when I hover upon the C card, I don't want that. When I hover upon the button, so we'll say C card
Yeah.
and then button. So yeah, perfect. But there is a problem again. It has a border now. We want the border as well. So inside the main button, we're gonna say this is going to have a border of 1 pixel, solid, and then this color. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so the next thing we want is we want to have some space between them. All of these. What should we do? We want to have some space between them. Nana, between these three. I want to have space between these three. Gap, we can use gap, but it's not going to be applied. Why do you think it's not going to be applied? Yeah, exactly. We don't have display flex, plus we don't have a parent for them. If we want to have gap and if we want to have, apply display flex, there should be a parent for them, which we don't have because they are aligned. There we have h3, then we have p, then we have button. Like they're independent, they're siblings. They're not the children of the specific parent. So it's gonna be a long code if you were to put them all of them inside a single parent, and then apply display flex, and then have change the direction and then use gap. It's a long process. So give me a simple approach in order to have gap between all of these three.
You can put them in one div.
That's a big approach. For example, if you were to put all of them inside a single div, okay, let's say we put them inside a single div, so then we're going to target that div inside the styles, then we have to put display flex, and then we have to change the direction of the flex, and then we have to put gap. So there are a lot of steps involved. So give me a simple approach, a one line approach. Think like a programmer. What should we do so that all of these have some gap between them, like it's a single line? Let's say if I were to put margin from top and bottom on this paragraph, what would happen? If I were to put margin from top and bottom on this paragraph, would we have space between the heading, the paragraph, and the button? We would.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say C card and then P, and then we'll say margin, let's say 0.6 rem and 0. Like top and bottom it should be 0.6, and left and right it should be 0. So here we go. We have some space. Let's maybe increase the space. Let's increase the space. Yeah, perfect now. It's perfect. Okay. So what more do we need is we want to change the color of this heading as well. So we'll say that C card and then H3, or it was H3, and then the color should be this. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so next thing, we want to have this image in the background. Okay, so let me copy this, inspect. And Ms. Nimra, how did you get that video from this website? Is Ms. Nimra
She's
present?
in the bathroom.
How did you get this video? Oh, sorry. Okay, so she's in the bathroom. Okay, so I'm gonna say right click, inspect, and it's inspecting this image. We want the main thing, and this is this is the main thing. So where is the background image? Yeah, here it is. So click it, right click, copy image URL, and yeah, what was the name of the main div? It was places. I've copied this. Wait, I have to copy it again. I think I have this window V. Yeah, I have this. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to target dot places, and I'll press window V. So basically there's a shortcut in Windows where you have all of the things you have copied in a separate clipboard. So the shortcut is window V. Okay, you're gonna have all of the stuff you have copied on that specific day. So this is the site. I'll copy it again. So I'll say how do I put background images using CSS? What's the property for putting images using CSS? Background.
Image.
Very good. Dash image, and then what was this value? Very good. URL, and then quotations, and then I press window V. It's gonna get me the things I've copied, and I want this. Perfect. Save it, and yeah, we have this image. But there's a problem with this image. And what is the problem? What's the problem with this image? The background image. Is it a problem, or is it's all right?
Um.
The image is repeating itself. Okay, we have this image, then it's repeating again, then it's repeating again. So what we're gonna do is
Oh, it's so light. I can't even see it. Yeah.
wait. Let me. Yeah, it's the same image. So why can't we see it? Because because it has the foreground color is different. We don't want that color. So I'm gonna say the color, yeah, we don't want this color, we want it to be white. So I'll say the paragraphs and headings are going to be white, this one as well. So yeah, so basically it's repeating itself, so we don't want it to repeat. So I'm gonna say background size, okay, and 100% from the x-axis, 100% from the y-axis. So perfect. Now it's stretching, but we want it to, have to be in the center. I want it to be in the center, so I'm gonna say background slash dash position, center from the x-axis, center from the y-axis. So I guess it's okay, but it's stretching itself. No, let me inspect it. Let me see how much they have put the size. Right click, inspect, and we have this main thing here, and yeah, background size they have put 100% and 470 pixels. Nah, it's still stretching with them as well. Well, they have used really bad quality images, to be honest. So it is 100%. Let me copy this. So I'll copy this. Let me see, what do we have. We don't have an image now. We still don't have the image. Let me see. No, it's alright. So why don't we have it? Okay, let's change the direction because our image is stretching. So because we have put the size to be 100% and the image quality isn't that much good to support 100%, so
Yeah.
maybe let's say decrease the size. So they have put 470 pixels. We're gonna do the same thing. Let's say 470 px. No. So the problem is with the image. So let it be 100%. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now we want to target the single card. So I want to have border against all of the cards. So the single one was C card.
E card.
Yeah. So we'll say C dash card, and we want to have the border. So I'm gonna say border 1 pixel solid and then white. Okay, we have this border, but we want to have some space from the inside. This one.
Padding.
Very good. Padding. So I'll say padding and 1 rem. Yeah, it's good. Okay, then there's this thing. It's basically, it has a background. We want to have that. So I'll just copy this color and I'll put it on C card. So I'll say background color to be this, but it is now this one. So I'll copy this. Is it copied? Let me check the color. F1 F0 EB. Okay. Hashtag because there's no copying. I don't know why. F1. It was F1 FE and 0B. No, I guess we have copied the wrong color. Why isn't ColorZilla working? So it's F1 F0 EB. F1 F0 and EB.
EB, yeah.
Yeah, now we have this, but this is now visible. So because the color is white, we have to change the color.
Yeah.
Okay, C card and then B, yeah, inside the C card, so color and then this one. Okay, now we have this, but there is a problem again, and that is that only this part has this
The
color.
color, the rest
Yeah,
of it is text.
but we have color on all of the cards, but we can get back to it later. First, let's focus on getting these cards out of the parent like this.
Okay.
So how do we get this? How do we do this? How do we make these cards go outside the parent? And I guess we have already did this in KFC.
So do you have to use the yeah, absolute?
No, 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 don't use the positions because it's going to disturb the layout. We have already did this in KFC when we get the button outside the parent, the card parent.
Does it have to do with the width?
No, not the width. Something else. Think of something else. Like how do we push something out of something?
Oh, we did do this before.
Yeah, we did. In the KFC website, it was the add to cart button, if I remember correctly. So first of all, okay, tell me this: what should be? Sorry.
Margin?
Oh, very good. It is going to be margin, but it has to be special case of margin.
The negative.
Negative. Very good. Exactly. Okay. So that's good. That is exactly what we want to do. So the question now is, what should we target in order to move all of them at once? Which element should we target? Which div? Which div?
The main div.
The main div. And what was the name of the main div?
The parent was
It's right in front of you. No, no, no. This is the city cards. Yeah, city cards. So we're gonna target the city cards. I guess we have already did this here. Yeah, city cards. And I'm gonna say margin and then bottom. Okay, and then give this in the negative. So it's gonna push it down. So it's not pushing it down. Maybe let's do something else. 10 RAM maybe. No, it's not doing anything. It should do it, but it's not doing it. So let's try another approach. So I want to get this outside of the parent. So maybe let's use transform. Transform, translate y. So I want to move it down. Should it be positive or negative? It's inverse. Math has positive above, but CSS has positive down. Okay, so let's say 200 px. Yeah, they are out of the parent now. But there's a problem here. And what's the problem? What is the problem here?
so the text.
Yeah, the text is really above the parent. So the thing I want to do is I want to have this text in the center. What should I do? I want to have
It
this,
is in the center, right?
not horizontally, vertically.
Also, we would use margin.
We can't use margin. Margin's not gonna work because we have already put the margin auto, so it's already in the center. Margin has done the work. We have to use something else.
We just allow content.
Sorry.
Just use the content.
Very good, justify content. But for that, we need to do something else first.
This is not.
Yeah, good, display flex. So who's the parent of these two? They don't have the parent, I guess. So we have to put them inside of a single parent. So let me cut it, and let's name it p text. Okay, meaning places text. And I'll target the p text. I'll say p dash text, and I'll say display flex. This is gonna cause some problem here. What's the problem now?
They're not aligned.
They're not aligned. No, 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 that's not the problem. They're side by side. We don't want them side by side. We want them, up and down, like in a column. What should we do?
Oh, you have to change the
Very good.
direction.
Very good. We're gonna change the direction. So flex direction column.
Column.
Yeah, that's good. So now we can use align items. So align items is going to work for x-axis or y-axis now.
No, maybe the opposite.
Yeah. So it'll be
X.
x. Yeah. And justify content is going to be on the y-axis. So no. The problem is, although the property is correct, but basically when you use align items justify content, they move the children according to the height and width of the parent. So the height of the parent is right in front of you. So basically they're in the center, but according to the height of the parent. So what should we do in order to make them go in the center? Although they're in the center, but according to the height of the parent. So if you
Do we
want them
have to
to
change it? Do we have to change the parents' height?
exactly, very good. We have to change the height of the parent in order to see them in the center. So, but there is going to be a problem. If we were to change the height, let's say 300 pixels maybe, it's going to push it more down. So that doesn't solve our problem. So yeah, it's not gonna work. We are not gonna do it like this. So it's gonna cause problem. And plus, the transform is not working like we wanted it to work. So no.
Then how would we get it in the center?
This one.
Y- yeah.
Okay, so wait, let me undo all of it again. So it was already in the center, but according to its
Yeah,
parent,
like pushing it down.
yeah, it's according to its parent, it's in the center. The more we increase the height, the more it's gonna push the cards down. We don't want that.
Yeah.
So we have to think of something else. Although it should be margin, but margin isn't working for some reason. Wait, let me remove this translate because it has to be margin. Okay, so margin bottom should work, but it's not working. So wait, I think I know why it's not working. So let me make a dummy div here. So after this spaces section, let me make a div with the name of dummy. So I need to check something. Okay, dummy, and I'm gonna target this dummy, and I'll put the height to be 100 vh. What does vh refers to? What does vh refers to? Viewport height. Yeah, good, viewport height. And let me put the background color to be, let's say, red. Okay, so now let me put the margin on these cards.
Wait, what does VH stand for?
Viewport height, like the thing you're seeing your website on, whether it's a LED, whether it's mobile, whether it's some tab, like it basically adjusts itself according to the screen of this. Okay.
Got it, got it.
Okay, so let's push it
Just
down.
a quick question,
Yeah,
responsiveness. So does that work on mobile devices too? Like
yeah, yeah. It
viewport
totally works.
height?
It totally works for every device. So basically, viewport height refers to the device's screen. So it refers to the screen that is your website is opened on. Okay. So let's put the margin on these cards. So let's say the main is C card. So I'll use margin dash bottom, and let's say 10 rem, negative 10 rem. No, not just 10 rem, negative 10 rem. So yeah, now they're working. So I don't know. Basically, the problem was we didn't had much space beneath these cards, so that's why they weren't showing us. Did you get why we weren't seeing any effect? Because there wasn't anything after the cards, so that's why our website was finished until that point. So when I put this dummy div, now we have some space to move around, so that's why these cards are now outside of the parent.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so let me increase the margin. So I guess that's quite near. Yeah, it's good, perfect. Now let's remove this div, this dummy. Or maybe let's have this div because we want to show these cards outside of this parent. But let's remove. We should have this div, okay? Because we want it to show outside of the parent. And let me remove the color here. Yeah, but it shouldn't have 100% VH. It should have, let's say, 70. Sounds good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now we want to have this button. So outside this dummy div, we're gonna have a single button. So I'll say single button, and I'll say it's going to be a button with the name of discover, and it is going to say discover all. Yeah, we have this button now. I want this button in the center. What should I do? First I'll target the discover button. Discover. Yeah. So how do I get this button in the center?
Text align.
No. Button. How do we get this button in the center? Text line is for the text.
Margin auto.
Very good. Margin auto. But the only problem is margin auto is not going to work. Why do you think? Why do you think it didn't work?
Because it only works on block
Very good.
elements.
Exactly. And button is an inline element. So we have
Mm,
to
so you have to
change it.
display it
Very
as
good.
block.
Yeah. Plus, it's too much outside of these cards. So we should decrease the height. So it's gonna push it above. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now let's make this button just like this one. So I'm not gonna do it again. We'll just copy the style here. and paste it here. Uh-huh. What happened with the padding? Haven't you copied the padding? Uh,
That one doesn't have padding.
yeah. This one, this one doesn't had it either. So why is this working and not that one? So yeah, because of this, we
Okay.
had padding when we targeted
Mm.
both of them simultaneously. So it was 10 pixels. So let's give it here 10 pixels. So yeah, let's make it round. So border radius,
Border radius.
maybe let's say 30 px. Perfect. Okay, so now I want to have padding from the inside of this main div. What should I do? What should I do to have some padding from the inside? This from this main div.
Words.
So
You're gonna target.
what was the main
Uh,
div called? I guess it was places. Yeah. So
yeah.
let's give it some padding and let's say 3 gram. Yeah, it's good now. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow. This section is we haven't discussed. Yeah, yeah, it's getting difficult as we move on. Okay. So this section is quite interesting, but we haven't discussed about this at the moment. Not this at the moment. We haven't discussed about this until now. So basically, this is the display grid, and it's really interesting to be honest. The display grid. So we're not gonna do this section because we haven't discussed about that display, and it's quite you can say it's quite advanced as compared to what we have discussed until now. So let's skip this section for the time being. Okay, when we discuss the grid, when we'll discuss grid, then we can implement it. Because what you can see here now is basically different images of different sizes. Like something is small, someone is taking up more space than the other. So basically this is the display grid. So we can do it at the moment because we haven't studied about it. So let's skip this section and let's move to again this is grid. But we can do it with flex. Yeah, we can do it with flex. We don't want to have all these fancy images. Okay, we can do this with flex. But there's another interesting thing about this. Can you see the background image? It's not moving. Like it stays where it is, and it has really cool effect. It seems kind of difficult, but it's quite easy to be honest. Okay, let's do this section. So this would be the last section for today's class because it's going to take a really long time. So what do you think? How can we do this? In fact, we have did this until just now. So how many divs do you see? Let me open the pane as well. So how many divs do you see? Just one? Yeah, good. So we have just one div. And how many divs do we have inside this one div? Sorry, one? Two? And then one, no. We have one for this one for this one, and one holding all of these images. Okay, so basically we have three. One. Yeah, you said three? Sorry, I thought you said one. Sorry. So yeah, three. So one, two, and then we have one holding all of the images. Yeah, good. Okay, so we don't want to have these fancy kind of with different heights and widths images. We just want to have them side by side, arranged side by side. So what do you think? How many divs do we have here inside this third one? Nope. Since all of these are side by side, so what do you think? Three above and three bottom. Since they are all side by side, so that must mean not three. These three are side by side. These three are side by side. Two, yeah. So one for the above three images, and one for the bottom three images. And inside them we have three images for each of them. So yeah, and this image doesn't have a lot of stuff. We only have this image and this heading, so it's easy. Okay, this section is quite easy as compared to the last one. Okay, so after the button, we're gonna have a section, and let's name it. What should we name it? Amenities. Okay. So amenities, spelling amenities, yeah, amenities. Okay, so inside this amenities div we're gonna have this heading. So what should this heading be? H1.
No,
So H2. Why not H1?
because we already have an H1, so this is
So
perfect.
what would be the problem if we were to use it again?
Will affect the S view.
Yeah, good. It will affect the SEO. Okay, so we have done the amenities paragraph and then the heading as well. So yeah, they're here, but I want to have them, like this one. So what should we do? We should just say that where we have styled the above paragraphs and headings, we're gonna go there. Yeah, where were they? Where were they? They were here. Yeah, here. So we're gonna say the amenities, and then H2 is gonna have the same styling. So yeah, here we have it. We're gonna do the same thing with paragraph. So let me copy this. I'll put a comma here and then say amenities and then P. It should have the same styling. So perfect, we have this. But I want to have some space from the above this amenities div. So I'll target the amenities, and I'll say it's gonna have margin from top and bottom to be 2 rem and left and right to be 0. Perfect. Okay, so that's complete. So let's move on towards the third section, that is the images section. So this is the main parent. Okay, so first we'll target this one. First we'll create this main parent. So let's say I'm gonna say amenities, and then, or let's call it a images. Let's not make it more complex. Okay, amenities images. Okay, so inside this amenities image we're gonna have two sections, the top one and the bottom one. So I'm gonna say top A, or let's say a top, maybe amenities top, and then the amenities bottom. Okay, doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Okay, so inside the images, inside the a top, we're gonna have this. So basically it's a div, it's a main div. It has two parts, one the image part and one is this a heading part. Okay, so I'm gonna create a div here and I'll name it, what should I name it? uh,
Users?
Ski resort. So what about these one? Then we have to name them separately. Cinema, I want to name something generic. So basically
Amenities?
we already have amenities.
Just like amenity itself without the S.
It's gonna confuse you. So it's amenities and amenity, so it's gonna, it'll be confusing. So give me some name that will be generic plus it's not confusing. So we can name it images because we have a lot of images. uh,
Hobbies?
Sorry.
They look like hobbies, like activities.
Okay, yeah, let's do hobbies. Okay, so let's say
We could do activities.
activities. Okay, let's do activities. Activity. Let's do a singular, so we don't have to, write long stuff. Okay, so we have this image, and let's say copy image address, paste it. So what should be the width of this image? Very good, 100%. So after the images, we're gonna have this. So I guess it says 3, and I'll say ski resort. Perfect, we have this image, we have this heading, so yeah, it's good. So inside the a top we're gonna have how much? We're gonna have three divs. So 1 2 3. Let me copy it again, and inside the a bottom I'm gonna do the same thing, 1 2 3. Perfect. So in total we would have 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to have them side by side.
Display.
Very good. Display flex on what? Now this one is quite tricky. So display flex on what?
On amenities?
No. Amenities is the main section.
Activities?
No.
Huh? The cards?
Nope. There are no cards. Who's the parent of these images? These one and these one.
Okay.
They're in front of you, right in front of you.
Amenities?
Amenities is the main parent. I just want the parent of these images, like the top images and the bottom images. Now I've given you a big hint. The top images and the
A
bottom
top.
images.
A
A
top.
top, yes. So it's A top. So it's gonna target the top one, and I'll say A bottom is gonna target the bottom one. So let's say first of all let's decrease the width so we can see it easily, 70%, so that it should align with the above sections. And I'll say display to be flex, and I want it in the center, so I'll say margin to be 2 rem and auto. Perfect. Now I want to have some space between them, so I'll say what gap to be 2 rem, as we have the gap as 2 in gap of 2 rem in the above sections as well. So yeah, it's looking quite good, apart from the fact that they have different heights and widths. So I guess we can somehow target it. So let me first change the images so that we can see the different images.
The card is only in 3 minutes.
Sorry?
The card is only in 3 minutes.
Okay, let me stop the pause the recording here, and I'll send you a new link. Okay, so let's change the images so we can see the difference between the images. So yeah, copy image address, and the third one is this, the fourth one is this, the fifth one is this one, the sixth one is going to be this. So yeah, it's good. It's, yeah, images are like
I
this.
have a question.
Yeah.
You know when you just change the images, right? Instead of just erase everything, how would you just put it like that?
Okay, so basically what you are going to do is you're just going to select it what you want to replace, okay, and you are not going to press backspace, okay, you don't have to remove them, you'll just press Control V, so it's going to paste what you have copied, okay, so you don't have to remove it, just select it and then press Control V. You don't have to remove it, separately. That was the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to see at the images are designed in this way. You don't have to separately make them smaller or bigger. So this one is bigger than any of the other images. So basically they're designed this way. So we can target this image specifically, and we can say that you need to go up. Okay, does that make any sense? So basically just what you're seeing here is, it's not it's not some coding or something. It's basically the images, they're designed in this way. Some are bigger, some are smaller, so basically they have this grid effect. So I want this fifth image to be slide up. I want it to slide up. So how should I do it? First of all, I'm going to target this single image. So this one was the fifth image. So do you guys remember about the inline styling? Have you guys remembered, or have you forgotten about that? What was inline styling? Like, this was the first type of styling you have studied.
Yeah, I remember.
So how do we use it? But you guys have forgotten this part.
Use the style.
Yeah, good. So inside this one, I want this fifth image. So I don't want to give it a specific class and then call it in CSS. It's gonna be a long process. So what we can do is, I'm gonna go into the second, in the fifth image. I want it to slide up. So I'll go in the fifth div, activity div, and I'll put style tag here. Style, okay. And how do I slide it up? How do I slide this image up? What should I use? We have discussed about this recently, in fact, like maybe 10 minutes ago. And we did this, as you can see, it'll be a big hint, but again, we did this in KFC as well. And we did this with this as well. How do you get something out of its parent, or maybe move it up or move it down? So we're gonna use
Can
margin.
oh
Oh yeah, we can use transform. We can use transform. So let's use transform. Okay. So let's say transform, and then translate y. Okay, and then negative. Let's say 40 pixels maybe, because I want to move up more. Yeah, yeah, it's looking good. So a bit more. Maybe let's say 80 pixels. A bit more. 100 maybe. So yeah, perfect. Now we have the same layout as we had here, but the images are a bit smaller. So let's decrease the width of the main parent. So images are gonna be smaller automatically. So let's just 60% or maybe 65. Yeah, perfect. Now they're looking a lot like this one. Okay, so now we want to have this background image. So I'll again just right click, inspect, and then yeah, it was, I guess, this section. Yeah, this section. Scroll down a bit, we have this image. I'll click it, I'll right click, copy image URL. Okay, so what was the main div called? What was the main div called? Like the entire parent. You guys have suggested me the name.
yeah, hold on. Amenities.
Yeah, amenities. So I'll say amenities, and it's gonna have a background image and then URL and then this image. Yeah, perfect. Now I want to have this white color. So I'll say inside the amenities, everything is gonna have the color of white. So it's not gonna work because these paragraphs are specifically targeted. So let me target this specifically. So I'm gonna say amenities and then P comma, or maybe let's say H2 first, and color white. So yeah, similarly with P as well. So I'll copy it down. So amenities and then P, it should have a color of white, and this one as well. So what was this? It was H3, I guess. So I'll copy it again and I'll say amenities and then H3. Nah, perfect. And this H3 is gonna have a background of white. So I'll say background. It's gonna counter a problem then. What would be the problem if I were to put background of white? What would happen with this?
It will match with the text.
Yeah, good. So the text is not going to have this white color, it's going to have this brownish color. So what's with the space here? I don't want to have some space here, so let's give the entire thing the background of white. So what was the entire thing? The single card. What was the single card name? I guess it was activity. Activity. So I'm gonna say the activity is gonna have a background of white. So basically the white color is gonna match up, so you won't see the space between them. So yeah, perfect. But there's a problem here. What do you think is the problem here? Do you guys see the problem? Or it's
Yeah,
perfectly
it's
alright?
all
Yeah.
white.
Was yeah. Basically, we have given the card to be the white color. So basically, it's taking up the entire space of that div. We don't want that. So no, we're not gonna put this background of white here because it's gonna disturb our layout. So we just want to remove the space, but first we need to check what is this space. So inspect and take this arrow here and this. So this is the activity div, this is the image div, and this is this. So what is this space? Like, why do we have this space? So let me go inside the box model. So scroll down and you'll see this box model. So the question is, why am I seeing this div for this space? So we have this image, okay, that's good. So why do we have this space here? Image, and then we have this key resort. It shouldn't have the space. Okay, we'll leave that, we'll delete it later. But first I want to have some space from the inside. What should I do?
Got it.
Padding. So inside the h3 I'm gonna have some padding, let's say 0.6 frames. Yeah, perfect. But we need to discuss this one. Why do we have space? Have you put border on something or not?
No, not.
So why do we have this space? We shouldn't have this space. Okay, anyway, so maybe let's move this up a bit. So I'm gonna say margin, or let's say transform, and then we'll say translate y up a bit, 10 pixels. So we're gonna say negative 10 pixels because we want to move up. So yeah, it's looking good. Yeah, it's good. So if we were to move this up, we'll have no we wouldn't have this empty space. Okay, so now there seems to be a problem, the last problem, and that problem is if we scroll down, the whole thing scroll down. Yes, but if you were to see in the PC side, the image stays where it is. Can you see the problem? The image isn't changing, the image isn't being scrolled with the scroll bar, whereas in our website when we scroll, the whole images scrolls with us as well. Do you get the problem?
Yeah.
So basically I want the image to be fixed. Now this seems quite a bit a lot of work, but no, you just have to say inside the background image, you just have to change this background to be background image to background. Okay, just use background, and then after the image you're gonna put fixed here. So what this is going to do, this is going to make your image fixed, like it'll stay in its place, it's not going to move. So that's it. So look, can you see the image is there, the image is fixed,
Yeah.
but our content is moving. Okay, so now I want to have some space from the inside. What should I do? I'll go, yeah, padding, and then 3 rem. Perfect. So now we have, look, the image is there, but our content is scrolling. So we'll do one last thing, and then we are going to discuss the GitHub. Okay, and then we can end the class. So the one last thing is, can you see this heading here? It basically stays where it is. Like when we scroll, it stays where it is, whereas in our website when we scroll, it basically vanishes, it goes off the screen. Okay, the problem is the problem clear? I want the nav bar to stay where it is without changing its position. Like I want the nav bar to be fixed. So when we scroll, nav bar is always there. Okay, have you guys get the problem?
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we do that? First we're going to target the nav bar. So I'll say the nav bar, and I'll put the position of sticky. Now what does sticky generally means? Like it's something that is going to stay where it is. So that's exactly what this position is. It's going to make the nav bar stay where it is, but we have to specify the position. Where do we want to make the nav bar sticky, at which point? So if I were to say 0, so it's going to make the nav bar sticky from the 0 pixels. So if I scroll, the nav bar, it does have, it does stay sticky. If you were to see, it is sticky, but it goes behind the screen. Can you see that? Like it is sticky. If I scroll, the nav bar is there, but the problem is it goes behind the screen. So have we discussed about something when you stack something on top of each other, and if you want to wait, let me do something like this. Let me open the paint, and I'll tell you what I'm trying to say. So let's say we have a lot of divs. We have this div, and then let's say I have this red div, and let's say I have this orange div. Let's say this red div. Okay, so let me give these color as well. So this is going to have this red color, this is going to have this orange color, and then this is going to have this black color. Okay, so there are 3 divs. Let's suppose there are 3 divs, and those 3 divs are stacked on top of each other. Okay, now if I want to have some div, if I want to give some div priority over one div, for example, I wanted this red div, let's say I want this red div to be stacked on top of these 2 divs. Okay, do you guys get the problem what we want to do? Like these divs are stacked on top of each other. Okay, these divs are stacked on top of each other, but what I want is I want this last div, this red div, to be stacked on top of everything else. Okay, I want this red div to be stacked on top of everything else, like the black div and the orange div should be behind the red div, not in front of it. Okay, does that make any sense, or should I do it again?
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time?
Yeah. Okay, so let's say we have this div. Okay, one div, and let's give it a color of, let's say, black. Okay, then let's make a red div, and let's make a yellow div. Okay, now all of these divs are stacked on top of each other, just like in our website. When I scroll down, this video div and this navbar div are stacked on top of each other. Are they or are they not? This video is stacked on top of this navbar.
We are.
Yeah, they are, just like this. Yeah, is that it? Just like this, they are stacked on top of each other. But what I want is, I want this navbar to be always stacked on top. Like I want this navbar to be on top of everything. Just for example, I want this black one to be stacked on top of yellow one and the red one. Like I want this black one to be stacked on top of everything. So there is a property where we can achieve this. Like you can change the priority of stacking by a property, and that's called Z index. Okay, so I want this navbar to have a Z index of maximum, so that it's always stacked on top of everything else. So I'll say Z index, by default it's, I guess, it's 0, it's 1. Yeah, it's 1. So I want it to be, stacked on top of everything else. So I'll say, let's say 99, or you can give any number, but it should be higher number, so that it always stacks on top of everything. Now is it stacked on top of everything? Like it's not going behind anything else, just like it was. Wait, let me remove this, and let me do that again. If I scroll, what's happening here? It's being hidden by the video div. It's not stacked on top of it, it's stacked behind it. So
Does the index control the element on the top?
yeah, basically it controls the stack position. Like by default, when you put positions, everything is going to be stacked on top of each other. Okay, that's what we have discussed about positions, the absolute and relative, and now sticky. When you put position sticky, relative, or absolute, position sticky and position absolute, everything is going to be stacked on top of each other. Okay, now Z index. What is the question, please? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
The index is a good position.
No, it's not a 3D position. It is a 2D position, but let me do it again. Let me do it using this context. Okay, this context. So we have the nav bar. Let me change the color. We have the nav bar, okay, and then we have this video. Okay, so what's happening at the let me give this color as well. This is the nav bar. Let me give this a color of, maybe let's say red, and yeah, this one, give it a color of black. Okay, so at the moment what's happening is, this is my video and this is my nav bar. So when I scroll down, my video covers my nav bar. That's what's happening. Yes,
Yeah.
because they are being stacked on top of each other. So basically Z index controls the stack position, that which element is going to be positioned on top, whether it's going to be the nav bar or it's going to be the video. So Z index is there only for stack position control, whether which one should be given the priority. Is it the nav bar that's given the priority, or is the video? Okay, so if you increase the Z index, it's gonna give the priority to that thing. the one that's having the bigger Z index. It's going to stack it on top of everything else. So Z index basically controls the stack position. Okay. Okay or not okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do I make this navbar go on top of everything else? Z index, yeah, good. So I'm going to say Z index, and let's give a bigger number, maybe 99 or 909, whatever you want, so that it's always on top of everything else. So here you go. Now it's always on top of it. Similarly, I want this to be sticky as well. What was this named? It was named, I don't remember what it's named. I guess it's named header. Yeah, header. So I'll target the header. And how do I make it, fixed where it is? No. I want to make it fixed first. Position, good. Which position do I need to put? Sticky. Yeah, good, sticky. And then I have to specify the position where I want it to be sticky from. For example, if I were to say top 50 pixels, so it's gonna start being sticky from 50 pixels from top of the screen. So look, I'll scroll, but it's vanished. But there is this black thing you're seeing here. Okay, so let me increase. So I want this always on the top. So what should I do? I want it to display on top of every other element. What's the property for that? Very good. Z index. So I'll say Z index to be, let's say it was 909. Similarly, you should also have 909. So here you go. Can you see? But it gets sticky from 50% of the screen. I want it to be a bit down. So maybe let's say 80%. No, 83 maybe, 84. No, 83 would be good. Perfect. There you go. Okay, now it's always on top. So any problem until this point? Okay, great. Now let's upload our website to show everyone that we have created a masterpiece. Okay, let's go inside the GitHub. Have you guys created the GitHub accounts? You have to create the GitHub account. This is your CV. This is a resume for a developer. Okay, so this is really important. So create this GitHub account and then click on new. And then let's name something. Let's name the repository. So I'll name it PC. And then create repository. And then, do we want to create a new file or uploading an existing file? Yeah, so click on this and choose your files. They're inside the desktop, and this website, the folder is named PC. So I want these two sides, so I'm gonna drag it. I'm gonna select both of them. So how do you select both of them? Simply like drag and drop, and it's gonna select both of them. Open. So it's gonna commit changes. Click on this button. Okay, now the code is uploaded. Okay, so then I'm gonna go to settings. You guys have this on the recording. Okay, you can see it again if there's a problem. And then we have pages, and then we're gonna change from this none, branch none, to main, and then I'll save. So yeah, that's it. It's basically building your website. Wait, it's giving us the link. It's gonna take, I guess, 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll give you the link, and you can simply click on it, and you'll have the live website. No. You are just going to see the website only. You're not gonna see the code, just a website. Okay, just it's gonna be like this.
The website we created, right?
Yeah, the website you have created. It's gonna be the link to your website, the one you have created. Okay.
Public for everyone?
Yes, it's totally up to you. If you are going to make it public, by default it's public. Okay, so everyone could see it, but they have to have the link. Okay, for example, if you want to show your friends, maybe let's say you have created a site, So what you are going to do is you're going to send them the link that GitHub is going to give you. Okay, so it's going to take, I guess, 1 or 2 minutes. So it should, yeah, it's there. Look, this is the link. So if you were to type it into your computer, for example, type it. You have your computers open, right? Okay, so type the link, but do not open it on mobile screen, because it's gonna be a blunder, to be honest, at the moment, because this website is only for the PC screen at the moment. So the next
Can
topic,
you
yeah,
sorry to cut you off.
yeah,
Can
no,
you copy it and send it in our group
no.
chat?
Wait, let me copy it, and here we go. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
okay. So you just have to
I'm
click
just
on.
copying from the screen.
You can copy it from the
No,
screen.
he sent the link. He sent the link. He sent the link in our group chat.
But do not open them in the mobile at the moment. Do not open the link in the mobile, because
Okay.
there's another topic for this. There's another
Oh,
topic.
I can see it. It's working good on the laptop.
So it's working, yes. But if you were to, open this in a mobile phone, it's gonna be, it's really bad, to be honest. So how is that? Because
So wouldn't they have the viewport that we talked about?
no. The viewport is not gonna do a lot of stuff for you, because it's gonna do something, like it's gonna be a little bit. It would have an effect, but it's not that much. Okay. So for example, I have this extension that will tell you how your website is going to look on your mobile phone. So if I were to click on this extension, so this is how your site is going to look on the mobile phone. So is this is, look at this.
Yeah.
It's messed up. So this is how it's going to look on your mobile phone. So that's not how we want our client to see the website. So that is a different topic, like a big topic. So that's why, and that is that topic, you're gonna get that topic if you were to, create the sites we have created until now. So that's why I'm focusing on creating these sites, the desktop sites, because that topic is really difficult, to be honest. So you have to know these topics, the one we have discussed until this point. I guess we had 15 to 16 classes. So these classes are really important. And this website, this one we're doing, it's really important. So that's why you have to do it on your own. Okay, that's really important. And before the next class, it's really important that you submit me your website until this point. Okay.
Okay.
So inshallah, the next topic we're going to discuss is going to be responsiveness. And what is
We're not
response?
doing the section above this one, right?
Sorry, you have to do.
We're not doing the section above this, right? With the so many computers, you said?
This one?
No, the other one, the complex one.
Wh-
See,
which one was the complex one?
it's not on our website, it's on the other one. Oh,
No. Yes, you don't have to do this. You
oh
you
yeah, this one.
yeah, you shouldn't do this one. This, okay, this isn't included because we haven't discussed about this topic. Okay. So basically, the next topic is going to be responsiveness. And what is responsiveness? It's really important. It's in fact one of the interviews question. So basically, just like I've said, that do not open this on mobile phone. And you have seen this. If you were to open that in a mobile phone, it's gonna be a lot of mess. So basically, when you develop a website, you develop it for the desktop, you develop it for the mobile phone, you develop it for the tablet screen. And client is not going to ask you to do all of that. You have to do it. It's mandatory as a developer. So basically, that topic is called responsiveness. So inshallah, the next.
Like what? Like the screen has to be adjusted on the
Yes,
mobile
yes,
tablet?
yes, exactly. Because the website is not going to be opened just on the computer screen.
Yeah.
It's going to be opened on different devices. Okay. Yeah, maybe if you were developing maybe this website 20 or 30 years before today's time, so yeah, you guys would now be proper developers if we were developing it 20 to 30 years before. But now, since every screen is accessing the website, including the watches, the smart watches, you can access the website from that. So we have to develop websites according to every screen sizes. So once you do that, you would be able to deliver a good full-fledged deliverable website to your client. Then you can call yourselves front-end developers, intermediate level of developers. Okay. So that topic is really important. So we're gonna do it inshallah in probably the next week. Okay. So but for that, this site is really important. You have to create this site until this point, and you have to exclude this section. You don't have to do this. Okay. So any
So are we
questions?
technically doing the full website?
Wait, let me see. So I guess you guys are gonna do this section because this was yesterday's task. So today we have
No,
only.
could we do it up to the one you did it so that so we have everything in the recording as well?
Yeah, you have to do it until this point, but
Yeah, this point,
yeah,
yeah.
but I'll say let's try the next section as well. Okay, you should try the next
That would
section
be
as well.
hard.
This is hard. This isn't hard.
It's not hard, it just takes long.
It's just this one more section. This section. That's it. Okay, so it's almost similar to the above sections. We have the background image and then we have the text on the image. Okay, so just this section until this section. This is your homework, and there is one section excluded. That is this one. You don't have to do this one. So basically, until the point we have did this, and plus one more section, that is this one, and plus you have to give me the link of the website. Okay, upload it on GitHub, and then send me the link. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
अच्छा सर एक क्वेश्चन का छोटा सा वो गिटहब जो कंट्रोल का परफॉर्मेंस रहेगा
जी
वो
जी
हम
जी
कब स्टार्ट करेंगे
वो
मतलब जब
इंशाल्लाह।
बॉडी को चेंज करते
जी
हैं
जी
तो
जी
कमिट
बिल्कुल
करते हैं
बिल्कुल वो अगेन रोहिल साहब बड़ा ही एडवांस टॉपिक है। वो बेसिकली वर्जन कंट्रोल में आता है। वो इंशाल्लाह हम करेंगे जब हम रिस्पॉन्सिव साइट बना रहे होंगे उस टाइम।
अच्छा अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है
नहीं, अभी अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है, अभी नहीं।
तो सर जावास्क्रिप्ट कब से स्टार्ट हो जाएगी प्रोजेक्ट कब से
रोहिल साहब अभी इसके बाद हमारे पास रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस आएगी, फिर ग्रिड आएगा, और उसके बाद बूटस्ट्रैप आएगा, और उसके बाद जावास्क्रिप्ट आएगा।
मतलब 2 2 मंथ्स लग जाएंगे
नहीं, 2 मंथ्स तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे। प्रॉब्ली जैसे तकरीबन 7 से 8 क्लासेस और। ठीक है, तकरीबन मंथ है।
ठीक है
ओके, सो एनी मोर क्वेश्चंस? Okay, so okay, thank you very much. So inshallah we'll meet next week inshallah, and good luck for the assignments, and yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Allah Hafiz, thank
Allah
you,
Hafiz.
thank you.
Allah
Really
Hafiz.
thank you.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.